Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Rundown for 2014. I'm Connell Growley.
And hi there, I'm Annabelle Amos.
In the latest news on missing Malaysia Airlines flight MH370, seeker vessels from the Australian Maritime Safety Authority have found what they call a credible lead in floating debris located in the southern Indian Ocean. The two objects are floating in waters several thousand kilometres deep, around 2,500 kilometres southwest of Perth. Although the AMSA hasn't confirmed that the debris is from flight MH370, the size and dimensions of at least one object are consistent with it being part of a Boeing 777 wing. The flight has been missing for 13 days.
Queensland Attorney General Jared Blay will appeal the sentence given to Daniel Morecambe's killer, Brett Peter Cowan, because it is not in line with community expectations. Cowan has received a life sentence with a 20-year non-parole period for the kidnapping and murder of the Sunshine Coast schoolboy. Mr. Blay has been in contact with Bruce and Denise Morecambe, where they have agreed it must be appealed because it is manifestly inadequate and is not in line with community expectations and does not set an adequate deterrent. He has instructed the Director of Public Prosecutions to appeal.
Investigators of the disappearance of Madeleine McCann are trying to find a man who broke into up to 12 Portuguese holiday homes of British tourists between 2004 and 2010. In 4 cases between 2004 and 2006, the man also sexually assaulted 5 girls while in their beds. In most cases, there were no signs of forced entry to the property, and the intruder came to the house between 2 and 5 a.m. Police are working to determine whether this man is connected with the man seen carrying a small child towards the beach on the night Madeleine disappeared in May 2007.
A couple at the centre of the mysterious Gin Gin baby graves case have had yet another property searched by forensics. Although the same couple own the property, this one is in a different district to the area that has been excavated earlier in the week, where forensics found particular items of interest. Police went to enter the property on Wednesday, but were greeted with a locked gate, where bolt cutters were used to enter the property. Neighbours of the couple are shocked and don't understand how such a nice family could be involved in questionable activity.
That's all the news.
Now to Marion with the entertainment report.
Hello, I'm Marion Monteith and welcome to another week of entertainment. First up, the Rolling Stones have indefinitely postponed their Australia and New Zealand tour after the death of Mick Jagger's girlfriend, Lorraine Scott. Scott, a fashion designer and celebrity stylist, was found dead in her Manhattan apartment on Tuesday from an apparent suicide. The Rolling Stones frontman has not been seen since the announcement, but updated his blog with a post simply titled, "Lorraine. I will never forget her," he wrote. "I am struggling to understand how my lover and best friend could end her life in this tragic way." Band members have stood by Jagger and state that they intend to return to Australia and New Zealand as soon as it proves possible. In other news, Australian model and media personality Ruby Rose has announced her engagement to girlfriend Phoebe Dahl. Speculation of the pair's engagement was sparked after photos posted by Rose on Instagram. Rose posted a picture on Saturday of a bed with 2 "I do" pictures hanging above it, the caption stating her surprise at the proposal. After asking her to be mine 3 times, always to be rejected, I swore I'd never ask again. Then this morning at 6 a.m, she broke into my house with flowers, coffee, and a question. I thought it was a joke, she wrote. Phoebe Dahl, her now fiancé, is a fashion designer and the granddaughter of author Roald Dahl. And finally, Sofia Coppola is set to direct a live-action version of the fairy tale classic The Little Mermaid. Rather than taking the Disney happily ever after approach, however, Coppola is rumoured to be looking closer at the original Hans Christian Andersen story, which ends in the Little Mermaid dissolving into foam. Caroline Thompson, writer of films such as Edward Scissorhands, The Corpse Bride, and The Addams Family, has been brought on to write the film, furthering speculation of a darker tale. No details have yet been released as to when the movie will be released. And that's all for entertainment this week. Here's Jordan with the Tech Report.
Hello and welcome to the first Tech Report of 2014. I'm Jordan Clements. This year is set to be a huge one for the tech world. First up, Sony is coming out with a game changer this year, Set as an accessory for its new hugely popular PS4, the Japanese company has just unveiled a prototype virtual reality headset. Codenamed Project Morpheus, it will allow players to immerse themselves in their gaming world. No release date has been announced as of yet, but Sony has said it will make the headsets available for developers soon. As of March, Sony has sold a whopping 6 million PS4s. It's that time of year again when Apple rumours are flying around about new iPhones. Designers all over the world are illustrating their opinions of what the new smartphone will look like. There is much discussion of Apple releasing 2 iPhones this year to compete with Samsung's huge lineup of smartphones. Analysts are suggesting that Apple's 2014 lineup will involve 2 new phones, one that is 4.7 inches and a larger 5.5-inch phone. But as always, the tech giant is being tight-lipped about any new devices, so as usual, we'll have to wait and see. And finally, Nike is going to be releasing the self-lacing shoes made famous in the movie Back to the Future 2. Who could forget when Marty McFly arrives in 2015 to find himself with a pair of futuristic shoes and flying on a hoverboard? Now, Nike has promised that in 2015 these once fictional shoes will be available for customers. The shoes will have power laces that tighten when your feet are inside the shoe. The release of the shoes for next year will mark the 30th anniversary of the original Back to the Future movies, as well as being the year the sequel was set in. Well, that is all for the big tech news for what is beginning to look like a very exciting year for gadgets and gizmos. Now to Tamara with weather.
Queensland has endured some hot temperatures this week with a few patches of wet weather. Today we're expecting temperatures to range between 21 and 28 degrees with rain heading this way. Now keep those umbrellas handy for a very wet week ahead for Brisbane. This Saturday and Sunday we can expect rain all weekend with possible patches of sunshine. Temperatures will also range from 20 to 30 degrees this weekend. Monday will be hot and rainy at a top of 31 degrees. Tuesday is looking at a possible thunderstorm with temperatures ranging from 20 to 29. Wednesday and Thursday are also looking at possible showers at temperatures of 31 degrees. To the national forecast for this weekend, and Sydney will be expecting a sunny weekend with Saturday between 19 to 28 and Sunday from 20 to 30 degrees. Canberra will also have a wet weekend reaching a top of 27 degrees on Saturday and cooling down to 24 degrees on Sunday. Melbourne is looking at a cloudy Saturday with temperatures ranging from 10 to 20 degrees and possible showers on Sunday at a maximum of 20 degrees. Hobart can expect a cloudy Saturday with a maximum of 17 and possible showers on the Sunday at a top of 20 degrees. Adelaide has a cloudy weekend ahead of them with temperatures on Saturday ranging between 13 and 23 and on Sunday 12 to 21 degrees. Perth, however, will have a rain on Saturday and sunshine on Sunday, reaching a high of 34 degrees for this weekend. And finally, Darwin is looking at a very wet weekend with hot temperatures firing up to 36 degrees. That's all for the weather forecast for this week. I'm Tamara Ackle. Thank you and have a splendid weekend.
And now a quick recap of the news headlines.
In the latest news on missing Malaysia Airlines flight MH370, seeker vessels from the Australian Maritime Safety Authority have found what they call a credible lead in floating debris located in the southern Indian Ocean.
Queensland Attorney General Jared Blay will appeal the sentence given to Daniel Morecambe's killer, Brett Peter Cowan, because it is not in line with community expectations.
Investigators of the disappearance of Madeleine McCann are trying to find a man who broke into up to 12 Portuguese holiday homes of British tourists between 2004 and 2010.
Police are now searching a second property of a couple believed to be involved with the mysterious Baby Graves case.
That's all for this week's episode of The Rundown. I'm Connell Crowley.
And I'm Annabelle Amos. Thanks for watching this week's episode.